Grizzly bears have now exceeded recovery targets in both the greater Yellowstone ecosystem and the northern continental divide ecosystems, and bear numbers well over the objectives set by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Grizzlies are ranging farther off the Rocky Mountain front into central Montana, where they haven't been seen for over a century. It is past time to celebrate this recovery, delist the bears, and return the management back to the states. Fish and Wildlife Service scientists have twice found that the greater Yellowstone ecosystem bears have recovered and delisted them, but courts have prevented delisting from going into effect. Secretary Haaland, I'm confident that the career scientists will find yet for a third time in just the past 17 years that the greater Yellowstone bears have recovered. When that happens, will you support legislation to codify the Fish and Wildlife Service's delisting to prevent legal uncertainty?
Thank you for the question, Senator. And as you said, the courts require us to look at the species population as a whole, and even though they have recovered in some areas, it's not true for every area.
So the question specifically, the question specifically was the greater Yellowstone ecosystem.
Well, it's good news that yes, the grizzly bear is recovering, as I said, in some areas.
Wait a minute, I want to say recovering. Have the grizzly bears, have they exceeded the target in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem and populations?
Senator, yes, as I mentioned, the grizzly bears are recovering in some areas. In other areas, they're not. That requires us to look at the grizzly bear population as a whole.
I understand. But you're not answering my question. The specific question is the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, and you said they have recovered. So given that we agree that they have recovered, will you support legislation to codify Fish and Wildlife Service delisting to prevent this legal uncertainty?
Senator, we will follow the science and the law. I know Director Williams and her staff take this role very seriously. Also, the Endangered Species Act has been a lifesaver for many species. We'll continue to follow the science and the law with respect to grizzly bears.
Okay, well, I'm glad we agree that the grizzlies have recovered in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem,